What a huge sigh of relief. The Phillies came out, heard all the noise, and they made a statement win over the Atlanta Braves to kick off a three-game series down there in Atlanta. They won that game 13 to nothing against their division rivals. There was a lengthy rain delay, a lot of rain down there in Atlanta, about 2.5 hours worth of delay, but the Phillies came out swinging. Their pitching was great, and they got that huge win after a tough series against the Houston Astros right before that. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content. As I said, the Phillies made a statement in last night's 13-0 shutout win over the Atlanta Braves. They were swept by the Houston Astros the series before, as I just previously mentioned. Three-game series, really tough series, not a lot of offense to go around. The starting pitching was dominant for the Phillies, but the offense could not get them any run support. They scored just one run combined in those three games. Obviously, they were shut out twice in those three games with scoring only one run in that series finale. But the Phillies, as I said, had 13 runs in last night's game against the Braves, including 5 home runs the Phillies hit. Congratulations go out to rookie Otto Kemp. He hit his first career Major League home run in that 13-0 win over the Braves last night. It was a 3-run home run in the third inning. Congrats, Otto Kemp. He's been doing a really nice job since he's been caught up while Bryce Harper has been out with his right wrist inflammation. The Phillies not only scored 13 runs, but they also compiled 17 hits against the Atlanta Braves. Hopefully the offense stays hot. Obviously, they're not going to score 13 runs and have 17 hits, but as long as they're just still producing and getting the job done, that's all we really can ask for. Hopefully they stay hot tonight against the Braves for Game 2, get another win, and get back to their winning ways after a tough series that they were swept by the Astros, as I said. But what only matters is what's ahead of them, and that was a huge win against the Braves last night. The Braves obviously haven't been great in 2025, not the team that they've been in the years past, but still, a win is a win, especially right then when the Phillies definitely needed a game like that to get back on track. Not only did the offense do great, but obviously when there's a shutout, that means the pitching also did great. Now, with that lengthy rain delay, Mick Abel, the rookie, was scheduled to start against the Braves last night, but as I said, it was a 2.5 hour or so rain delay in Atlanta. So a lengthy rain delay like that throws off the starting pitchers' momentum, their rhythm, their just preparation for a game. So the Phillies decided not to start Mick Abel in last night's game. They went ahead and started Tanner Banks, one of their relievers. He pitched 2 scoreless innings to kick off that game for the Phillies. Taijuan Walker, the veteran, who used to be a starter, now a reliever for the Phillies, he came in after those 2 innings. He pitched 2 scoreless innings himself there for the Phillies after Tanner Banks. And then Alan Rangel, he also had a scoreless appearance, but he went 5 innings to close out that ball game in relief for the Phillies. It was his first career save. Obviously, 13-0, it's not a traditional save in that sense, but if a reliever does come in and he pitches 3 or more innings, wins the game, he's credited with the save. If you remember, Taijuan Walker had one of them earlier in the season for his first career save, but Alan Rangel, 5 scoreless innings for the Phillies, first career save. It was just his second Major League career appearance for himself, but also with the Phillies. If you remember, he allowed 2 earned runs in 3 innings back on June 6th against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Much better performance by Rangel last night against the Braves. 5 scoreless innings. Just great stuff out of the Phillies bullpen. Deserves a lot of credit right there, a lot of praise, because obviously it's been a huge weakness for them in 2025. They got the job done last night in a, makeshift, really just quick put together bullpen game. So also very nice for the Phillies not having to use a lot of bullpen guys with a bullpen game. Sometimes, you can stretch out guys here and there, but a lot of the times you're just going to not really get great production out of your bullpen arms there. But the Phillies were able to only use 3 relievers, which is great. 3 really non-high leverage relievers. So that's also great as we move forward for the series, the rest of this 3-game series against the Braves, because that keeps guys fresh and allows them to use them in more high leverage situations if that presents itself in these following 2 games against the Braves. A great job by Banks, Walker, and Rangel against the Braves last night. Also, great job by Phillies shortstop Trey Turner. Trey Turner he's been, a very polarizing player here in Philadelphia. Signed that massive contract a few years back. Struggled to start his Phillies career. Had that standing ovation. Kind of turned his season around there. Still had some ups and downs or so last year as well. He was an all-star and all-star starter. Had a really good year overall. This year in 2025 is also having an incredible season at the plate for the Phillies. A lot of fans still get under his skin. A lot of fans still have mixed feelings, mixed emotions with Trea Turner. A lot of it has to do with his fielding. Really not the best fielder out there. Makes some boneheaded mistakes, makes some errors that you really don't want to have to deal with a player of his caliber that's making that much money. But overall, he is one of the better shortstops in Major League Baseball, having a very, very good year at the plate. Last night, in that 13-0 dominant win over the Braves, Trea Turner went 4 for 6 with a double and two home runs against the Atlanta Braves. He was a triple shy of the cycle in that ballgame. He also had a stolen base, which was his 20th stolen base of 2025, so he's getting it done there on the base paths as well as at the plate. As I said, just enjoying an incredible season offensively with the Phillies in 2025. He's batting .302 with a .356 on base percentage, a .465 slugging percentage. He has an .821 OPS, 17 doubles, 2 triples. He's now up to 11 home runs with those 2 home runs last night against the Braves. And he's up to 37 RBIs in 2025. Can't really ask for a lot more than that out of Trea Turner. He is just having a great year at the plate, and I think that Trea Turner hate really needs to stop. Yes, he's going to make some mistakes in the field. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's frustrating, but he is proving himself to be a very good player and pretty much worth that contract he received a few years back with the Phillies. Now, shifting gears as we close out in this video here today on Phillies Daily. If you've been following along through the Phillies Daily journey, if you've been following along, especially these past few weeks, you've known that I have been talking about, at the end of my videos, trade rumors surrounding the Phillies as we near this July 31st trade deadline, or just other trade candidates that I see as potential fits for the Phillies, particularly in the bullpen and as well outfielders. Today, I am talking about Minnesota Twins right-handed pitcher Griffin Jax. Griffin Jax could be a prime candidate to be traded at the deadline for any reliever needy teams like the Phillies. He's a 30-year-old veteran, as I said, a right-handed pitcher. Not having the greatest season in 2025, but he's also not having a terrible season. He does have a 4.08 ERA, which is a little higher than you would like, but he does have 17 holds. He also impressively has 60 strikeouts, which is, I say impressive because he's only pitched 35 and a third innings in 2025, and he has 60 strikeouts. Just a whole ton of strikeouts, a whole lot of swings and misses. Just great stuff out of Griffin Jax in that category. He is, however, 0 for 4 in save opportunities in 2025. More so been used in the 8th inning with the Twins in 2025. So that's primarily his role, a setup guy. He has those 17 holds to get in there into the 9th inning for their closer. He did have a career year in 2024, as I said. Not really the same success so far in 2025. Still a very good season for Griffin Jax, but last year in 2024, he had a 2.03 ERA with the Twins, 24 holds, 10 saves, and he had 95 strikeouts in 71 innings last year. He also, or opposing offense were also batting a low 184 against Griffin Jax last year in 2024. As I said, he's mostly been used in the 8th inning for the Twins this year in 2025. He does come with 2 more years of club control, so that is very enticing to teams. That also sometimes skyrockets a player's trade value for the team that is trading them just because of that club control. But teams typically like to have guys under contract with team control, so you're trading for a guy more than just a few months for a playoff push. So he won't be a free agent until 2028. Could be a very legitimate possibility for the Phillies that's not going to require a massive trade haul. So more of a realistic fit there. He is a high leverage late inning arm, which is exactly what they're looking for, exactly what they need. So keep an eye on Griffin Jax. The Twins are 10.5 games out of first place in the AL Central. They're 2.5 games out of an American League wildcard spot. So as we near this July 31st trade deadline, the Twins could be falling out more, so out of the playoff picture as we near this deadline. So it could be a possibility that they become sellers, and a guy like Griffin Jax could be on the move to a team like the Phillies who need bullpen help. I hope you guys enjoy this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Hopefully the Phillies can build off of that huge 13-0 shutout win over the Braves last night, get the job done again tonight, wrap up this series tomorrow on Sunday with a series win, and get back on track after a tough sweep at the hands of the Astros a few days ago. Again, thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Phils.